Hello again, everyone. It's time for Tiger Talk. Stay with us. We'll talk some basketball with Tony Hobson and Mark Johnson right after this. Hello again, everyone, and welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State basketball. Women's coach Tony Hobson will join us after a rough week on the road. Tigers falling at Missouri Western and Northwest Missouri State. Tiger men and head coach Mark Johnson will talk about a split, a win at Western and a tough loss to the #1 team in the country, Northwest Missouri State. The program, as always, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail. And by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hays, the taste that brings you back. We'll take our first break. Women's coach Tony Hobson will join us right after this, right here on Tiger Talk.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock joined by head women's coach Tony Hobson. Program brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. They had the delicious cook-to-order food, rich and creamy frozen custard churned fresh throughout the day. It's all at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hays, the taste that brings you back. Unfortunately, kind of a rough weekend for the Fort Hays State women as they fall on the road at Missouri Western Thursday, then at Northwest Missouri State on Saturday. And two games kind of similar, got off to slow starts in both of them, made a run, got back in it, and then just couldn't maintain that momentum. And two tough ones. These kind of sting this weekend.
Well, especially the second one, because I thought we would have a good bounce back game. But at Missouri Western, I knew we would be facing a good athletic team, and they guard well, and I knew our shots would be contested. We did close it to 2 at half. Actually took the lead right after half, and then, you know, just for whatever reason they hit a couple quick threes and made a little run on us there. Went 10-0 on us, and we got down 40-31, and didn't ever really recover from that.
Yeah, that was tough. And take nothing away from Missouri Western, a very good basketball team. Chelsea Dewey especially, and you knew she was one of the returners from last season, and she really played well. She was a load for you guys to try to handle.
Well, she was, and both our starting guards, their little guards, played 40 minutes and played good defense on us, and just didn't seem to be tired at all. And Dewey's a good player. She hit a couple big threes. She did that to us last year. So, you know, it was one of their better efforts, I was told, and you know, we just caught them on a bad night, and we weren't ready for that. And again, we didn't shoot the ball very well, and we're having too many defensive lapses to go along with that. If you're not shooting well, you have to be really sharp on the other end. And
that was very evident on Saturday at Northwest Missouri State, a team that had struggled better. I mean, you see they've improved from last season's squad, but still a game on the road gave them too many open looks.
Well, and not just, you know, they hit all their open looks, but we just made mistakes. We had a mistake the play before half where we could have went in down 6, but I mean, we knew exactly where that ball was going and who was going to shoot it, and we still fell asleep and didn't cover it. And then after half, we gave up an inbounds layup where we fouled with 2 seconds, and we were making a run on them at that time, and got it back to 2. But that was also kind of a just took the air out of us a little bit. So we're just making too many mistakes, and it's by our good players, our good defenders. They're just not into it like they need to be right now.
And then seemed like you made that run. You got the ball into Emma Stroyan a lot better, and she was having a very good game. And it seemed like the team just kind of went away from that after you made that run to get back in it, and she didn't get many touches the rest of the day.
Well, I've emphasized that a lot with our team, and it seems like we don't have the patience to just continue doing what works. And when you look at our two inside players, T and Emma, I think they shot 65-70%, but yet we quit going to them when we were killing them in there. It was open. We have a hard time getting the ball where it needs to go sometimes. So we just have to try to regroup a little bit, and we have to play to our strengths and what other teams give us. And we weren't getting anything on the perimeter, and when we did, we couldn't hit it. So we have to use our advantage inside more than we have been.
The Tigers will try to bounce back, if you will. They're back at home as they get set to take on Lincoln on Thursday and Lindenwood Saturday afternoon. And we'll talk all about that when we return right here on Tiger Talk.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Back on Tiger Talk, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. Hey, start your day off right with a piping hot cup of coffee from Mocha's. They're at 27th and Indian Trail. They've got something for every meal. Of course, you can use a convenient drive-through. Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail in Hayes. Fort Hays State women trying to bounce back from a couple of road losses this past weekend. They'll be at home Thursday. Lincoln comes to town, the Blue Tigers, and then Saturday afternoon, the Lindenwood Lady Lions. And I guess good news, you get to come home this weekend. It seems like your team has been different home compared to the road. Away from the Coliseum, it's been a struggle. You've played pretty well at home, so hopefully that trend at least gets back on track for these two games at home this week.
Well, it'll be a welcome sight to be playing at home, and you're right. Our 5 conference games, we've won 1 out of those 5, and we weren't terribly sharp that game. We were able to still win at Kearney. Otherwise, I would say we played decent at Pitt, and that's about it. Yeah. The other 3 losses weren't good. So, for whatever reason, most people play a little better at home, but it usually isn't as big a gap as what we've had this year. So we just need to get back on track. I think it goes back to what you said. We have to use our ground game a little bit more, which is, what we call our inside game, and get little tight shots, and especially against a team that is small and lets you post and lets you get the ball in there whenever you want. And sometimes we do things that don't make much sense.
Yeah.
And basketball sense. And I've got a team full of smart kids, but some of them are struggling to understand basketball and what you should do and in certain situations.
Well, it's usually a reason why your post players generally shoot a very high percentage. They're real close to the basket, and sometimes when you struggle shooting the ball, it's getting back to the basics. Let's get the good shot, get the one in close, and kind of build on that. And you do that, it's amazing how many times it then opens up the perimeter more, and you get better looks from 3.
Well, especially when you have an advantage in there. Now, there's some teams we play. Like if we were playing against Kate Lehman, we probably wouldn't go in there very much, but we're not. And especially, the last couple games, I thought we had a decided advantage inside. We've got more depth and just size, and our post players are skilled enough. They can score, especially if they have an opponent physically whipped. So like I said, we just have to play a little bit more intelligent basketball than we have been.
Lincoln on Thursday, a team that has struggled a little bit, coming off a big win, though, over Southwest Baptist. So you're probably, again, catching a team that's got some momentum and maybe playing some better ball right now. But when you look at the conference standings, these are 2 games you really have to find a way to get now that you're sitting at 5-4.
Well, for sure. And, Lincoln has 2 wins in the conference. but you have to remember that we just lost to a team that had one, and anybody obviously can beat us on a given night. I mean, we've proven that, and we just can't overlook anybody. They're very athletic. They play a small lineup, which has given us issues a little bit sometimes. They're very good one-on-one players. They don't know a bad shot. They play loose. They take a lot of threes, but they can get to the basket. They have some pretty basketball skilled kids. So you can't let them sneak up on you like, they got Baptist. Baptist is a good solid team, and you just can't take them lightly.
Nope, it'll be very interesting, certainly on Thursday. Hopefully a bounce-back day for the Tiger women. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you here on Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That is head coach Tony Hopson of the Fort Hays State women. Again, Thursday, 5:30 with Lincoln, and then Saturday at 2, the Lindenwood Lady Lions come to the Coliseum. We're going to take a break. We'll talk some men's basketball as head coach Mark Johnson joins us after this right here on Tiger Talk.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock and head men's coach Mark Johnson. The program brought to you by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, where you can get the delicious cook-to-order double steak burger, crispy shoestring fries seasoned with Freddy's famous seasoning. Of course, finish it off with their signature turtle sundae and their fresh and creamy frozen custard. It's North Vine and Hayes. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State on the road this weekend. Missouri Western on Thursday. Number 1 ranked Northwest Missouri State Saturday. Tigers get a split. Not a good start on Thursday in St. Joe. They were down 15 in the first half, but a good strong finish got them back within striking range, and they go on to win it by a 74-69 count. And great win for your guys against a Missouri Western team that's playing pretty well. They beat Kearney on Saturday. Didn't start out that good, but boy, your guys found a way to regroup before halftime, which I thought was important to get back in the game to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, I thought we played really hard for 40 minutes, and you're right, the key of the game, I think we were down 15 or something with 5 minutes to go, and maybe down 12 with about 3 minutes or 2 minutes to go in a half, and finished on a nice little run there to get it to 5, which gave us an opportunity in the second half to come back and do what we did. Brady Worth was great. I mean, that was his best game as a Tiger. He had 19 points, 11 rebounds. They really didn't have an answer for him, and that's really, the points are nice. Brady's really starting to score a lot more and be aggressive, but the rebounding is really what we needed out of him. He's starting to rebound the ball much better. But he was a force, and then Trey had a great second half. So I think he scored all 14 of his points, and then Rob came up big as usual with a couple big three-pointers late in the game to kind of seal the game for us.
You mentioned Brady, and obviously he was a good scorer and a good rebounder in high school, but it had taken a while. But seems more aggressive out there too, and one of the reasons it seemed like his rebounds have gone up. And he's going after the ball, he's being aggressive, and even though the numbers weren't quite as high on Saturday with Northwest Missouri State, some foul trouble had a little bit to do with that. It just seems like the last 3-4 games he's been a completely different player.
Yeah, really with the Baptist game, he played really well at home against Baptist, played pretty well, one of the few bright spots up at Kearney, and then great at Missouri Western. Even Northwest, I think he had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. So he's getting more aggressive. I think also he's gaining confidence. It's hard to be aggressive and move quick when you're not unsure of yourself and all that. So hopefully that continues. He can still make strides. There's still areas of improvement. He's only a sophomore, and we're hoping for big things from him.
Did you come back on Saturday? Obviously a very challenging task. The number 1 team in the country, Northwest Missouri State, on their floor. Really haven't had a lot of close games, certainly in conference play. And you lose by 10, but you were right there in that thing, and even had to overcome a 20-point second half deficit. But boy, defensively played really, really well. Didn't back down. You had to be proud of the way your team battled for that thing.
Yeah, I don't think we can guard them much better. I think we probably guarded them as well as anybody has all year. We held them to 39% shooting. They normally shoot 55. Did a great job on Snyder, not letting him get open from 3, communicating those ball screens. really did a very nice job on Pitts. He had 23, but he was 7 of 18 from the field doing it. You know, Jaquan really does a good job of changing shots and making things difficult. Brady did a nice job also defensively, had some block shots. Really, we turned it over too much. You know, offensively in the first 8 minutes of the game, we were really playing well. We just couldn't make a shot. But again, turnovers, and then they buried us at the foul line. I mean, we had some tough calls go against us. Our whole team was in foul trouble. And really, that's the biggest. They made 29 free throws to our 13, and we had 17 turnovers. And other than that, which those are obviously too big of things to overcome against a team that good, I thought we'd hit a lot of really good things.
And you mentioned the foul trouble. That second half, you were really having to get guys in, get them out. It was tough for Jaquan and Brady and even Hadley Gillum to get any real momentum and comfort in that second half. They'd be in for a couple of minutes, had to get them out just to try to get them to the end of the game, because about 10 minutes left, didn't know if you're going to have enough players to finish
Well,
it.
I mean, really, the first half we had Rob, Hadley, and Jaquan all had 3 fouls, so they couldn't finish the half, and we were still able to keep it within 3, and then we just couldn't afford for Rob to get a 4th foul in the first minute or 2 of the second half, so we didn't start him. We were trying to cheat about 3 minutes, and that's where they got some early separation. So I think foul trouble obviously was just too much for us to overcome against a team like that on the road.
You mentioned Rob. I mean, he scores 31, which you've seen him do it before, but he had 6 consecutive threes. He banked one in. You could just tell he was feeling it, and they were defending well. He just kind of got in one of those Rob Davis grooves and got you back in it, gave you a chance after you fell behind by 20.
Well, again, you look at it, it's the amazing thing about Rob. He has 31 points, and he does it on 15 shots. Yeah. I mean, he's so efficient. It's amazing. He's 8 for 15 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3, 9 of 10 from the foul line. I mean, he just does it so effortlessly, it seems like, and with so few shots, because he's just a great shooter. And he really allowed us to come back in the game and give us a little bit of a chance, and then we just had 3 bad possessions in a row when we really could have put some heat on them, and we didn't do a very good job in those 3 possessions.
Tigers fall to the number 1 ranked Bearcats by 10. Now they're back at home. A couple of games this week. Thursday night, a very good Lincoln team comes to town, and then Lindenwood on Saturday. We'll talk all about it right after this.
We're proud to have Secor Technology Solutions as a part of our Eagle Communications family. We are dedicated to providing homes and businesses with cost-effective IT services, support, and products all under one roof, like
network support, computer repair, virus and spyware removal,
data recovery and cloud backup,
email support,
screen repair.
And above all, you can count on technology done right. Call us at 785-628-1330.
Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back. It's our final segment here on Tiger Talk, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. They're piping hot shoestring French fry potatoes, certainly one of the favorites there at Freddy's. Of course, you can have the great steak burgers and the great treats as well. It's all at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes, the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State back at home. Thursday night, Lincoln comes to town. Then Saturday afternoon, it's Lindenwood. And Lincoln picked 5th in the MIAA. It's the highest they've been picked in a preseason poll since Fort Hays State has been in this conference. They got to the quarterfinals of the conference tournament and had Kearney on the ropes a year ago and returned pretty much that entire team. Right now they're sitting in 5th place. Very, very dangerous team. Maybe the best backcourt in the MIAA facing this Thursday against the Blue Tigers.
Yeah, I think they are. Verdue and the Jalen Smith kid are probably the 2 best 1-2 guards we have in the league as a group. You know, they played very well here last year. Last year they got off to a great start. They make tough shots. You know, they shoot tough shots. You can play good defense, and they're still going to have an opportunity to score. With Verdue, it's really he lives at the foul line. Can you guard him well enough without fouling? And then the Smith kid's one of those guys, a little bit like Rob. I mean, he can really get going from the perimeter and make tough shot after tough shot. So they seemed like last year they were really coming to our gym, see our arena, good crowd, and they got pretty fired up to play. I assume this year will be the same. They're kind of on a little bit of a decent streak here, playing pretty well, and you know, we're back home after 3 road games. We've got to find a way to win some home games this week. You know,
and that's an interesting point. I think sometimes fans, you kind of forget about it. I mean, they play at Jason Gym, and it's basically a high school facility, doesn't seat a lot. To come to the Coliseum, and Fort Hays usually has a good crowd. It's a great environment to play. Sometimes you end up getting teams' best shot, and they play better than they probably are because This is pretty big time for some of those teams, and something lost sometimes, how well teams play when they come here.
Yeah, I think so. At times they play better out here than they do on their home floor, and I mean, they're just, we come in here, they don't get a lot of opportunities at our level to play in an arena like we have, and usually we do have the best atmosphere in the MIAA and all that, and at the same time, I don't want to complain about that because we're spoiled that we get the opportunity to practice there every day and get to play there every day. So we're very fortunate for that opportunity. But I do think, at times there's some teams that come in on these long road trips and drive out to Hayes. You think they're kind of tired and they walk into the gym and get pretty excited. So we need to be ready to play. You just look at Missouri Western at the time. I think Kearney was second place into this week, and they get beat by 17. I mean, our league, home, away, doesn't matter who you're playing, first place team, 12th place team, you got to play well to win games.
Well, and you look where Lincoln is, and then the team you play Saturday, Lindenwood, you guys are all kind of jumbled in. There's a lot of teams, about 8 or 9, kind of jumbled in right there, which the fact that you're now back at home makes these even more important to try to hold serve on your home floor.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games left. There's 10 as far as, I think Northwest is obviously way up here, and Pitt with their injury problem is down there, but I think really 2 through 13 there's not much separation. It's just who plays well that night, who's ready to play, who makes some shots, who even simple things as far as who avoids foul trouble can make the difference in the game. And 10 left, 5 at home, 5 on the road. Our home games, like we said, are very vital this week for us.
Well, we'll see what happens. Should be an interesting night, certainly on Thursday, and then again Saturday afternoon. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you on Thursday.
All right, thank you, Jordan.
That's head coach Mark Johnson. Of course, don't forget, it's a 5:30, 7:30 doubleheader on Thursday for Fort Hays State and Lincoln, and then 2 and 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon as the Tigers take on Lindenwood. And of course, on Thursday, Mascot Day, and Casey Wolf will be there, so bring the family out to Gross Coliseum. If you missed any portion of the program, you can always see it online, HaysPost.com, and the video replay on Eagle Cable's channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 and 7 o'clock. The program brought to you again today by Horizon Appliance and Electronics, BTI, Couture for Men and Women, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, the Taco Shop, and the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, and of course by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery and Bistro. They're at 27th and Indian Trail in Hayes, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers on North Vine, the taste that brings you back. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.
We get it. You work hard and play hard. Internet should be the last thing slowing you down. Eagle Communications gives you the speed you need so you can play hard and save cash. For a limited time, get 30 meg for $30 or 50 meg for $50 so you can work, play, and save. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.